Swamy, you told me the startup part of your title was particularly important because you like to operate like a startup inside your company. What does it mean in practice at a company this scale to operate as a startup?
Yes. One of my founders' belief is that big company will slow things down. And in order to take advantage of the speed, you have to launch these takeoff teams, empower them, and then allow them to move as fast as possible. That's how he set it up. So this whole Agentic AI as a startup, and then we have a co-lead with Dhawal Sharma as the GTM lead, and I'm doing the engineering.
So when you think about the kinds of experiments that you do inside of a startup lab, for lack of a better word, what does that look like? Everything is changing so fast anyway, right? So what does the experimental side look like?
The mission is to see what we can do to protect AI. AI is moving very, very fast, and customers' needs are moving fast. Every day there's a press release or an update. The question really is, how do you build products that will allow our customers to protect AI and take advantage of AI? To me, AI is like a race car. The reason why a lot of things did not go to production and still stay in pilot is because a race car without brakes, security and what we are doing, protection of AI, is going to now give the car the brakes so it can actually drive safely.
So we had a new model come out this week as an example. When I was at the keynote this morning, the two executives who were speaking spoke a lot about how you had gotten an advanced view of the model and you were able to kind of understand what that model was doing ahead of time. When you look at kind of the general side of the development side of the house versus what you're doing, can you explain to me what's different?
Yeah, when we talk our customers, they only want to talk about two things: Mythos and AI protection. So Mythos is because you can now use a modern model, a frontier model, to detect the vulnerabilities that you have. Not only you can detect the vulnerabilities, but you can actually stitch the vulnerabilities together to identify a particular attack vector for the enterprise. So now that that model is available, and it's available to defenders first, they were able to understand how to protect our customers. And now, over time, everybody else will have access to it. Now, organizations have opportunity to prepare themselves before the model is widely available, especially for the attackers.
So what in your career kind of prepared you for a job like this?
See, I was at a very big financial information services company, and 3 years ago we had to prepare ourselves from this AI version 2, or AI 2.0 as I call it. And during that generative AI evolution, I've done a lot of things at that company, and it gave me a long line of sight on the gaps that we have in the industry, especially from a protection perspective. And I was talking to a lot of the CEOs and the friends to say, build this protection, this is what we need. And one day Jay looked at me and said, you're passionate about this, why don't you come and help me build this? And that's how I came to Zscaler. And he said that I'll set it up as a startup, and it's all around protecting AI. Knowing that AI is good for Zscaler, Zscaler is good for AI, we're now building everything that we need to protect AI.
So when you think about the kinds of challenges that you faced trying to get your previous company or companies to digitally transform, how does that compare to what you're trying to do now in your new role?
Yeah, so typically, whenever you go through these transformations, and depending upon how you look at it, this analog transformation, digital transformation, you have to first understand how do you carry your employees, right? How do you elevate them to what is the art of the possible? And then you have to figure out what you need to do from top down to enable and convert that into value. So part of the transformation for a heads of technology is, how do you bring along your employees, and how is the technology stack evolving? How is the industry taking advantage? Added on top of that, there's always pressures from the business around, what are you using this technological shift to grow more revenues? What are you doing to improve the operating margin while keeping it safe and secure? Because that's what boards are asking. Grow the revenue, operational improvement, and risk management.
And having this kind of separate department inside of the company kind of gives you the ability to move freely before you kind of distribute that to the rest of the organization.
Right. In my case, I'm actually building products for our customers as opposed to internal transformation, right? So my role here is to build products to protect AI.